Hi, this is Beth with Divine Me Time. Welcome to this practice. Don't lose your head. Yoga for head and shoulders. Be sure to read through the disclaimer, and when you're ready, meet me in a chair, or you can do this on the floor if you'd like, just in a comfortable seated position. So let's start with some breathing. Just breathe in naturally. Exhale gently. Inhale. Exhale. Now we're going to turn the head with the breath. So inhale, exhale, and here we go, turning the head to the left with the inhale. Take a breath there, complete the breath. Exhale, inhale to the center. Exhale. Inhale, turn right. Check for your range of motion. Just notice where you feel the resistance. Continue to breathe. Inhale and take it back to the center. Okay, so we're going to use the hand to create some resistance, which the head can press into. So just take your hand to the side of your head, doesn't matter right or left. And tense and release. Make sure you're not pressing into your temple. Press and release several times. Continue to breathe. And we'll go to the other side. So pushing head into hand, hand back against head. Notice what's contracting. Hold that last one. And release. Allow a yawn or breath if anything comes. Now place your forehead against your palm. Same thing, we're pressing head into hand, hand back into head. Several times, tensing all those commonly already tight muscles around the neck and shoulders. Waking them up as we hold and release. Taking the hands behind the head now, but not at the occiput, taking them a little higher so that you can push the upper part of your back skull into your hands. Again, tensing and releasing. This might feel like a really small movement for you, and that's quite all right. It doesn't have to be an outwardly big thing. And release. Just breathe again in and out. In and out. In, out, and rest. Go ahead and turn your head again to the left, checking range of motion. You might find that you can turn your head a little farther with more comfort. And to the right. Now we are going to use the hand on the side of the head this time to look back. So instead of just pressing the head into the hand, bringing ear to shoulder, this time we're actually trying to turn the head to look back, but resist with the hand. Repeat several times, tightening and then releasing. And let's go to the other side, same thing. Pushing into the hand, trying to look back. Feeling that tightening, which muscles are activating. Holding, releasing. And let that go. Take your arms now behind the occiput at the base of the skull. And hold there. So we're not really doing anything. There's no contraction. You're simply resting the base of your skull in your hands, feeling the weight of the skull. Let the hands provide some support here as you breathe and relax. Opening through the chest. Let the head be supported. And then begin to draw your eyes to the left, back to center, and then off to the right. Keep everything else facing forward, so it's just your eyes that are moving. As you do this back and forth, side to side, just recognize where your eyes might judder or skip, and see if you can smooth out the movement of the eyes from center to corner. Relax the face as best you can. Now try bringing the eyes upward and then down a couple of times. Again, everything else stays still. This is just the eyes moving. Go ahead and release that. Let's breathe in and out. In and out. In, out, and rest. Let's check one more time, turning your head to the left to check range of motion. You might notice a really big difference. And to the right. Again. Left. And right. Now, bringing ear to shoulder on the left side. And extending the right arm away from you. Feeling that line of tension from the crown of the head down the side of the neck and shoulder into the arm, all the way to the fingertips. Back to center, releasing the arm. Let's go to the other side, right ear to right shoulder. Extend that left arm out to the side. Breathing and softening. You can make funny faces. That increases the sensation that you will feel. Making little circles now, just to feel what's going on with the neck. Hopefully it feels a little smoother, a little more connected, a little freer. Let's go down to the mat. So let's come on to the back Actually, before we do, go ahead and do some cat-cow, just because we're not doing a lot of movement, a lot of bigger movements in this practice. So you can get some cat-cow movements in here. Sitting up nice and tall on those sit bones as you pull the chest through. Rounding, using the arms to allow you to drop back from the knees. And deepening both the extension and flexion each time if you can, if the body allows. And then tucking chin to chest to roll down, using your core to come to the floor. Readjust your feet to draw them a little closer to the body if they feel too far apart. And decide how wide apart you want your feet to allow the thighs into the groin to relax. Just arrive here. Feel the back line. You might want to take a yawn or a deep breath as you bring your arms into the goalpost or cactus position at either side of the head. Enjoy the sensation of opening through the ribs. Feel the flattening through the shoulder blades. And breathe. Now gently begin to turn the head side to side. Eyes closed or gazing softly downward. Just noticing where you meet resistance. Letting the head be heavy. All else is still. Returning to a centered position, let's place the hands in back of the head at the occiput. Now, I'm going to show you here, you're going to make kind of claws with your fingertips. That's what you want there, as opposed to having the hands interlaced. So you can actually start to palpate the tissue there. Feel for the bones and the structure. Feel for muscular tension or tenderness as you poke and prod gently. Right side and then left side. Tilting the head in different ways to get into different areas. This is an exploration. And you can use the thumb to go a little deeper into the tissues there if that's comfortable for you. So get to know that area that holds so much tension and can be a source of headache. Give yourself a pleasurable head massage. Allow your hands to be tense so that they can take the weight of the head and the head can kind of relax into and against them. Good. You might want to work one side, turning off to the right, focusing just on that left side. Pay particular attention to any knots or tenderness. You can also kind of come along the side of the neck, drawing the fingers down toward the shoulder. Gently coming back to center, let's turn now to the other side, so off to the left, working the back of the right. You might want to go a little deeper into some of those tender areas, perhaps holding while you take a deep breath, releasing on the exhale. Or just explore. Don't forget the side of the neck. And then back to center. And just feel the results of that. We're going to do a little work with the eyes here. So open your eyes looking straight up, and just moving the eyes, allow the eyes to go from the ceiling off to the left, and then allow the head to follow. And then going back the same way, start with the eyes. So the eyes go toward the ceiling and then the head follows. And then off to the other side, starting with the eyes looking to the corner and then turning the head. The eyes go back first to the ceiling and then the head follows. This may feel very unusual and difficult to control. Just do your best. And notice where the challenge is. See if you can smooth it out. We'll repeat. Take your time here. There's no rush. And if you notice a place where things kind of stutter and jitter, you can really slow down there. Just returning to center when you're ready and taking a moment to feel the effects of that practice. And then preparing to take your arms back into the goalpost or cactus position. What we'll do here is anchor into the elbows and then allow one hand at a time to rotate through the shoulder to bring the hand face down and then back up by the head. So one arm goes face down toward the hips and then back up. So we're simply rotating through that shoulder. Notice what you feel here. You may or may not reach the floor. You might find some challenge here, so you have to go at your own pace and only go as far as your comfortable range of emotion allows. Now let's do both arms together. So we'll bring both hands, palms down towards the hips and then back up toward the head. And just notice if that changes anything. It might make it slightly easier. And then just play around. So you can go back and forth, changing right to left. You can also add the head here, or you can keep the arms going in unison. It's up to you. And just add some head movements with this. You might be turning towards the upward facing arm, or you might even be looking towards the downward facing arm. So it's all going to give you a different sensation. Explore. Notice what's happening through that chain from elbow to elbow, all the way through the back body. Maybe even some rib and waist involvement. Try to keep the legs grounded and relaxed. Allow the arms now to reach up toward the ceiling and let the shoulders drop back toward the floor as you begin to make little circles. And then change direction of the circles. And reaching up with both arms away from the floor. Reach and release back. Let the shoulders drop back toward the ground. Again, reaching up like you wanted to grab hold of something hanging overhead. And drop the shoulders back. Relax. And just take a moment of rest. You can even stretch out here if you like. We'll just be here briefly before we continue. Integrate all that's taken place. Relax. Now take one knee into the chest, then draw the other in. If you're comfortable rock and rolling on your spine, then do so. Otherwise, you can turn off to your right or left and push yourself up to a seated position there. Once you come into a seated position, just take a moment to feel this new orientation. And then come on to all fours briefly. Let's just take a nice child's pose here. You might want to have the legs together or even further apart. Reaching through the fingertips, lengthening through the spine, allowing the lower back to open and the hips to drop toward the heels. Now we're going to do a little work with the head again. So having your hands on either side of your head, you're simply going to roll on your forehead, right to left. So from one side of the temple to the temple on the other side, using the floor to iron out all of the stress on the brow. And yes, if you feel like your nose is getting smushed, then you can always use a block here and rock the forehead along the block. You're not putting full weight on your head. That's why your hands are on either side of your head to support you and take some of that weight off. So this shouldn't be any kind of stress or pain for your neck. Now I'm starting to work my way up to the crown of my head. Again, hands really important here to alleviate some of the excess weight. So you're just rolling the head like a bowling ball, side to side, and then back and forth. Now I'm going from forehead to crown along the top of the head. So using the impetus of the knees and taking the weight back and forth over them. Massaging the top of the head with the floor. And just a final reach in child's pose here. Rounding up to sit up. Again, no quick movements here. Allow everything to settle back. Let's go ahead and bring the inner thighs together as we rock onto the tops of the feet. Make sure you're staying long through the back. And release. Coming into our final seated position here. We're almost done. I am sitting up just to elevate my hips, allowing my back to feel really long. Here I go again with my claws. We're going to give ourselves one last massage through the hair. So if you have any kind of clips or bindings in your hair, go ahead and remove them if you haven't already, which you probably have by this point. And just allow the fingertips to work. Again, sensing for any tender areas, bringing some deadened areas alive with your touch. And don't be afraid to mess your hair. It can be really nice to stroke upward at the forehead. And there we go. So I hope this was really relaxing for you. We're just going to do a little meditation and then close. So just noticing every sensation that you feel, especially through the head, neck, and shoulders. Though it's all connected, so maybe you feel loosened up in a totally different area. Sitting in stillness. In silence. In spaciousness. Maybe I should have titled this class, Lose Your Head. Lose your thoughts. Lose your worries. Lose the chatter. Preparing now to open your eyes, reaching your arms overhead, and then gently waving side to side in a light side bend. Stay rooted through the distant hip as you move. Doesn't have to be deep. Returning to center, root to rise, hands overhead, opening with the exhalation. Once more, reaching arms overhead. Exhaling, drawing the arms down the center line to the heart. And giving yourself a gentle bow. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you appreciate your new hairdo. I know I do. Bye for now.